This car didn't break any laws, but inside Detroit, it broke something far more dangerous. It broke the belief that American performance belonged only to V8s. It broke the idea that a six-cylinder could never threaten a Corvette, and it exposed how fragile Detroit's confidence really was in 1960. Because for a brief moment, Chrysler built a car that shouldn't have existed. A six-cylinder American sports car capable of outrunning Corvettes, unsettling Ferrari buyers, and quietly terrifying General Motors. This is the true story of the Plymouth XNR, the 225 Slant Six, and the corporate decision that erased one of the most important cars America never got to buy. In the late 1950s, Detroit had already decided who was allowed to be exciting. Chevrolet had the Corvette, finally maturing into a serious sports car. Ford had the Thunderbird, elegant, profitable, and aspirational. European imports like MG, Triumph, and Porsche dominated enthusiast magazines and racetracks. Plymouth had none of that. Its cars were honest, dependable, and painfully forgettable. Families bought them because they made sense, not because they stirred emotion. Sales were slipping, and inside Chrysler, Plymouth was drifting toward irrelevance. That was the most dangerous place any brand could be. One man inside the company refused to accept that future. Virgil Exner was not a designer who believed in moderation. He believed cars should provoke emotion, even controversy. Earlier in the decade, he had already saved Chrysler once with his forward-look philosophy, dragging the company out of conservative design and into the modern era. His cars were lower, longer, wider, and unapologetically dramatic. Exner fought engineers who wanted upright packaging. He fought accountants who hated curves and chrome. And for a time, he won. But Exner wanted more than improved sedans. He believed Plymouth needed a single shocking statement. A halo car powerful enough to redefine the brand overnight. Not something safe, not something symmetrical, and certainly not something approved by the committee. He named it XNR, a sharpened-in version of his own name. That alone made executives uneasy. When the Plymouth XNR appeared at the 1960 New York International Auto Show, it stopped people cold. This was not beauty in the traditional sense. It was a confrontation. The body was deliberately asymmetrical, featuring a towering fin on the driver's side and none on the passenger side. There was only one tail light. The nose was long, narrow, and aggressive. More aircraft than automobile. This wasn't designed for attention. It was designed with intent. Exner believed a sports car should visually prioritize the driver, even if that meant rejecting balance and tradition. Inside, that philosophy continued. The driver faced a full instrument panel angled directly toward them. The passenger had no dashboard at all, only a grab handle. Even the glove box detached and doubled as a camera bag, a subtle reference to Exner's lifelong love of photography. Nothing about the XNR was accidental, but design alone doesn't frighten competitors. Performance does. Under the XNR's hood sat the most dangerous element of the entire project, the Chrysler Slant Six. Designed by engineer Bob McGregor, the Slant Six was never meant to be glamorous. It was meant to be superior. The engine block was tilted 30 degrees, allowing a lower hood line, better airflow, and space for long intake runners. The result was an engine that breathed better, ran cooler, and proved nearly indestructible. Mechanics quickly gave it a nickname that still survives today, the Leaning Tower of Power. Then Chrysler did something unexpected. They raced it. In January 1960, NASCAR introduced a compact car division at Daytona. Chrysler entered the Valiant, powered by the 225 cubic inch Slant Six. The results stunned Detroit. Valiants finished 1st through 7th, a clean sweep that left Ford and Chevrolet engineers speechless. A brand new six-cylinder engine had just humiliated them on a national stage. And the XNR wasn't even running the mild version. For the XNR, Chrysler engineers removed all restraints. The engine received 10.5-to-1 compression, a solid lifter camshaft, twin Carter AFB 4-barrel carburetors, a long runner cross ram intake, and race-grade ignition. This was not a show motor. It was a factory race engine. Drivers like Paul Goldsmith described it as nearly indestructible. It could rev to 7,500 RPM, something unheard of for an American six-cylinder at the time. Installed in the lightweight XNR body, it transformed the car into something Detroit wasn't prepared to explain. During testing at the Chrysler Proving Grounds, the XNR reached 143 miles per hour in street trim. Engineers then fitted a streamlined nose cone. Top speed climbed to 152 miles per hour. That made the XNR faster than a fuel-injected 1960 Corvette. This was the moment the project became dangerous. General Motors wasn't afraid of the XNR itself, they were fearful of what it proved. It proved that performance didn't require 8 cylinders. It proved that Detroit's hierarchy was built more on tradition than truth. It proved that Chrysler had stumbled upon something revolutionary. Unlike most concept cars of the era, the XNR wasn't fragile. It was built with real materials and real intent. Stamped steel, hand-formed aluminum, and Italian craftsmanship at Carrozzeria Gaia ensured the car wasn't just a rolling sculpture. Designer Sergio Sartorelli translated Exner's sketches into something functional, not fantasy. Flush door handles, a functional hood scoop, minimal windshield, and real suspension geometry made it clear this car was meant to be driven, not hidden under spotlights. Then Chrysler lost its nerve. Behind the scenes, financial losses mounted. Executives needed a scapegoat. That scapegoat became Virgil Exner. When Lynn Townsend took over as Chrysler president, his priorities were brutally clear: cut costs, kill excess, end drama. His internal directive became infamous: pluck the chicken. The XNR symbolized everything he despised. It was banned from further auto shows. Production discussions were shut down. Exner was sidelined. Then came the final betrayal. Due to customs regulations, the XNR could not legally remain in the United States. It had only 2 options: be destroyed or be shipped back to Italy. Exner begged to buy his own creation. Chrysler refused. To save it from the crusher, the XNR was exiled. Within a year, Virgil Exner was gone. The car survived. The man who created it did not. Over the following decades, the XNR became a wandering artifact. It passed through Switzerland, into the collection of the Shah of Iran, then to a Kuwaiti owner. In 1969, it appeared in National Geographic as a symbol of oil wealth. Then it disappeared again. In 1975, the Lebanese Civil War erupted. Hidden underground in Beirut, the XNR sat untouched for 16 years while the world above it collapsed. It survived only because one young collector, Karim Ede, recognized its importance and repeatedly risked his life moving it between hiding places during the war. In 2009, the XNR was finally restored by RM Auctions using original factory archives supplied by Exner's family. In 2011, it returned to public view, winning Best in Class at Amelia Island and earning honors at Pebble Beach. History finally set the record straight. The Slant Six didn't just survive, it became one of the most reliable engines ever made, with over 7 million built, powering everything from taxis to race cars around the world. And the XNR, it became the ultimate what if. What if Chrysler dared to put it into production? What if America had built its Ferrari killer years before the Cobra, before the Viper, before anyone else even tried? They didn't just cancel a car, they erased the future. The Plymouth XNR didn't fail. It was erased, hidden, almost forgotten. If you believe some cars were killed by fear, share this story. And I want to know, which car do you think the manufacturer foolishly killed?